Hey guys, hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kasturi and here we talk about speaking different languages, traveling and learning new languages. And today I'm going to talk about Spanish, how I'm learning it and many more things related to it. So if you're interested, keep watching. So let's get to the basic first. So mostly you learn languages in your school or colleges, and if you're not learning from there, you're going to always learn it from scratch. And because it's not from your school or colleges, you have to kind of explore the options from where you can learn a language. And the basic aim of learning a language is so that I can speak that language.
Because Spanish,
And I want one day talk in Spanish. So that is my goal. So it really is important for you to kind of understand why are you learning the language and how you can learn the language. Kindly to figure out the ways you can learn a language, choose the correct ways. I was first very interested in learning Spanish because I was continuously listening to Spanish songs, and then coincidentally I started watching a lot of shows in Spanish. Then I just had to learn Spanish. If you are learning a foreign language, you know that it is time consuming. You know that it is not something that you're going to learn in a month or two, but you have to start somewhere. So I have started. It's time you start. So point number one is, first you need to figure out which kind of dialect do you want to learn in Spanish, because Spanish has different dialects and you cannot ignore these dialects because this is the way you're going to learn the language. This is the way they speak the language, because ultimately your goal is that you can start speaking in that language. Spanish is spoken differently in different regions of Spanish speaking countries, and even one small single word is spoken differently in different areas. It's spoken different in Spain, it's spoken different in Mexico, it's spoken different in Argentina. So you need to see in which region you are and which region, if you want to travel to that part and you're learning the language just because you're going to that country, then you kind of need to focus on that country's dialect. For example, nosotros is not used in some part of Spanish speaking country. They use vosotros, and you kind of need to understand what is spoken where. It's not like they don't understand if you speak the Mexican dialect in Spain or the Spain dialect in Mexican. It's just for a better impression and for better communication that you know which dialect is spoken where. So keep that in mind when you're learning Spanish. So the second point that you need to keep in mind is which skill you are focusing on. There are 4 parts to it which you need to consider, and you kind of have to go through each of it. So there are different skills that you have to learn when you're learning a new language, which is the writing part, reading part, listening part, and speaking part. Like obviously grammar is important, reading is important, writing is also important, but you're doing all of this so that you can speak. So for example, one day you're practicing on your reading and the grammar part, you need to incorporate that in your speaking part as well. So for example, if I have learned today the perfect tense, later on after learning that, I have to kind of put it in sentence and speak it. Speak to yourself. Only reading and writing is not going to help you unless you are able to speak it. Do focus on all of these skills, do focus on all of these parts, but put more emphasis on the speaking part as well, because most of the time what happens is we kind of go to classes or wherever you're learning, you kind of just listen to it, read, write it down, but you don't speak it. You are maybe scared or you feel shy that you are going to be wrong and people are going to judge you. Do not worry, you're learning a new language, everybody is going to make a mistake, but if you make a mistake, you're going to learn and you're going to help yourself. The next point is, how are you going to learn these languages? Now for me, I started learning on YouTube because I thought I can learn, and I did not focus a lot on Spanish because I had to practice German and French. And so I kind of thought, let's start with YouTube first because I don't want to invest a lot of money, to be very honest, in Spanish. So I started off with YouTube.
because like
Everybody makes mistakes, I told you, right? I kind of had back in my mind that I'm not going to learn full-fledged Spanish, or I'm not going to be able to speak really well if I learn from YouTube. As I started watching videos on YouTube and thought of learning from YouTube, I saw that it's really different from what I expected it to be. And because I already am learning a foreign language, I know that the grammar part can be really difficult and you need somebody who's going to explain it to you. Like again, watching videos on YouTube and learning is going to help you in your listening skills. It's not really going to help you in your speaking skills. So as I told you, the 4 skills that are really important if you're learning a foreign language, these are important, and if you're doing it from YouTube, you are not going to be able to learn full-fledged. Like if I watch YouTube videos, I'm not going to be able to speak. I am just speaking on my own. There is nobody who's correcting what I'm saying. I can be wrong, like 80% I can be wrong because I am a beginner. I have never learned Spanish in my life. I only know some words because of the songs that I listen to. So there has to be a person who's correcting me, and this is why I thought of learning it with a teacher. It's really helpful when you start learning with a teacher because point 1, you are getting guided by a person, by a real person who is going to correct you. Like if I am speaking something wrong, there is somebody who's always going to be like, no, listen, this is wrong, you have to say it this way, and this is not the correct way of saying. When you're learning it online with a teacher, I know you kind of have these questions in your mind, whether it's going to work, how are you going to practice. For this, you're going to have digital notes. Second, you are going to practice your reading, your writing, your speaking, and your listening skills. So everything is getting done, plus you're being corrected. Like even your writing things, if you get a homework of writing an essay, you can be wrong even in that. Get it corrected on like face to face, like one individual lecture. It's not even like somebody's going to judge you, because a teacher is not going to judge you at all. And because it's individual lecture, I don't have that fear, I don't have that shyness of being wrong even if I'm speaking Spanish for the first time ever. That is like the biggest advantage, I think. If a language is very new to you, if it's your first time learning a foreign language, it is really important that you learn it with a teacher, because it's your first time. You don't know how it's going to be registered in your mind. Explore the option of learning languages, but with a teacher. My own experience is that if you're really interested in learning any language, it's important that you have somebody who's teaching you, because otherwise you're not going to learn properly. It's just a waste of your time. Like you are learning from something which is not being helpful. You are putting your time in learning that, but in the end, if you're not really learning, I mean, you're wasting your time. So next are some tips that I am using while learning Spanish. Of course, even you can use this because very general things. So number 1, as I was talking about YouTube, we'll talk about YouTube again. Learning from YouTube is good when you are stuck somewhere. YouTube is going to help you in your listening skills. It's definitely not going to help you in your speaking skills, because you are not speaking to somebody to correct yourself. You just brush up your skills to kind of get back your memory if you have already learned it. To learn it for the first time ever, YouTube is not a great option. I do not recommend that on a personal experience. The second thing are the songs. Listening to Spanish songs was the main reason why I thought of speaking Spanish in the first place. Again, this is going to help you in picking up some words, but you cannot learn grammar, you cannot practice writing from songs, because they kind of match the rhyming words and all and make sentences. It's not good for your grammar part or your reading part or your writing part, but definitely it's going to be in your head for a long time, because it's a song, it's music, it's going to stay in your head. So maybe you can pick up certain words from it, but yeah, that's all that's going to help you. Songs are going to help you in that way, and to keep that language in your mind, songs are. Another thing that I do is definitely follow some YouTubers or influencers on Instagram who are Spanish speaking. If you listen to them, and of course you can pick up some words and try speaking. So that's going to help you if you follow some YouTubers or influencers on Insta. Look at their stories, follow them, because you are definitely going to pick up some words. Now the kind of videos that I'm talking about for YouTube are the street videos. You know, there are videos which people are just generally talking on the street. In this way, you're going to pick up the local language or the local dialect that they're talking. You're going to pick up a lot of words which are very commonly used. So this is the way YouTube or Instagram is going to help you, is that you're going to pick up words which are really common, very local words, and it's going to stay in your mind because you're going to see it a lot. All of these things are going to brush up your reading skills, your listening skills, and will give you a certain words which are going to help you in your speaking skills. For grammar and for writing purpose, you need a teacher. You need somebody who is guiding you constantly. And the last tip that I would like to tell you is speak to yourself. You can be wrong, can be correct, but speak to yourself. So if you want to learn any foreign languages, Spanish, French, German, comment down below or DM us on Instagram. We have courses going on for all of these languages. We have weekly courses, we have monthly courses, we have courses for different levels. So definitely check it out and start learning a new language. Learn it with a teacher because it's really helpful. Bye.